All right, so this is the story of how I landed my first copywriting client. I think there's a lot of value in this video. I think if you're a beginner, this is for you. Even at the intermediate level, I think you'll gain a lot of insight from this. So I started this channel you're watching me on now 68 days ago, maybe 67 days ago, and I've made 4.4K this month as a copywriter. So that's kind of the experience I'm speaking from. I'm not at 5,000 a month. I'm not at 10,000 a month. I'm at $4,400 this month. That's the most I've made as a copywriter, and actually in my life for that matter. So how did I get that first one? What was the outreach message I sent? How many did I send? What platform was I sending on? That's what I'm going to get into. So, my approach is a bit different. I built my personal brand, which you're watching me on right now, and I'll link all my other channels in the description. Go take a look at them. You don't need to follow, but I'd really recommend taking a look because the reality is it's those social media channels that really catapulted me into getting that first client and just made that sales call super smooth. They really didn't ask any questions. I didn't had to handle any objections. It was very smooth because they'd seen me speak on camera and they were comfortable with who I was as a person, so they were already kind of pre-sold. Now, how many pieces of outreach did I have to send in order to get that client? Where was that outreach sent? So after 73 proposals over on a website known as Upwork, which for those of you that don't know, Upwork is a freelancing website. It's mostly for cheaper labor. Um, you know, Businesses go on there to hire people, usually VAs, paying them between hundreds of dollars per hour, depending on your experience level. But I started getting paid, I want to say $8 an hour was my first copywriting gig. It was actually copywriting and video editing, kind of for this content creator. They wanted some social media management done. And so I really just wrote all their content, managed the captions, managed the comments, the DMs, and I scripted everything. I did all the video editing. I took care of everything. I probably spent, over 30 to 40 hours on this job, and I only got paid like $250, if that. And the reason I spent so much time with that client was because I wanted to get that first testimonial. Because once you get that first finished job, once you successfully assist a client and they are confident in what you're able to deliver to them, then they will, in turn, give you some sort of testimonial. I was lucky enough to get a video testimonial I was begging the person for. When I first started, I said on the call, I need a video testimonial. I'll be honest, that's exactly what I want. You could even, keep the money. That's the only thing I want. I was willing to work for free for this client. They said, no, I'm going to pay you and give you a written testimonial as well as a video testimonial. And I just want to say for anyone starting out, I really think that a video testimonial will get you the most amount of clients. I think the video testimonial, along with my personal brand, is what has gotten me to the point where I'm at now, which is making 4.4K this month. As far as the pieces of outreach I was sending, as I said, I want to say I sent around 73 pieces of outreach. As far as what I was sending, it went and was structured like this. I would often, at least on Upwork, I would start with their first name or the business name. And I have other videos on my other YouTube channel explaining this process. So I'd recommend go checking that out. It's also in the school community, which I would really highly recommend. Just steal the outreach systems and then leave, because it's there. My whole system is there. But essentially, you start with their first name and their business name, talk a bit about the job, talk about your experience, and then end with a question or a PS. Do you have some social media links I could check out? The reason that the first name is so important, that's the hook. Of course, the body is next. The PS, here's a question for you. That is where I get the most responses because the reality is people love talking about themselves. If you've read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that's the one thing that Dale Carnegie speaks about is be just genuinely interested in people. They love talking about themselves. And when you kind of tap into that, they're going to give you, some sort of feedback and want to respond to you because, again, they love talking about themselves. Now, after that 73 proposal that I sent, that wasn't just a straight one call close. No, I had maybe 15 to 17 other sales calls that I failed. And so you need to be prepared for that. That is part of the process. You need to understand how pricing works. You need to understand kind of how your roadmap or how your onboarding process will go. You need to be familiar with updating the client with metrics, updating the client with check-ins. Maybe that's weekly, maybe that's monthly. There's a lot more that goes into the copywriting process. And additionally, what value are you providing to them? I mean, what's your package? What do you do for people? That took me a while to figure out. Nowadays, I do e-commerce, email marketing, as well as social media management, which I have spoke about in other videos. But again, I had multiple sales calls that I failed. I recorded them all and looked at all the objections I got hit with. When I was first starting out, I would hop on sales calls and I'd actually just act like my Wi-Fi cut out and I would just leave the call because I was so nervous. But you have to go through those rough sales calls and get all those questions. I'm going to be honest, the first 10 to 12, 15, maybe even calls that you get on, they're going to suck, but it's important you get all the data and extract everything you can from that client as far as question goes, as far as their objections they're going to throw at you. Because once you get comfortable and you've studied those, I mean, I put them on flashcards to prepare myself for that final client. After that 16th or 17th call, whatever it was, finally I had every single objection I could have possibly thought of. And I was able to close them smoothly. They were like, I seem very experienced. I had this swagger or confidence on the sales call. And so for anyone watching, it may take you 15 sales calls. But again, if you kind of want the fast track, I really would recommend finding some sort of community. It doesn't need to be mine, but find a group of people to assist you. I'm not super experienced, but I can absolutely help you. If you have questions, just shoot them over. I send videos to you guys all the time. That's kind of the purpose of this channel, just to help and share my experience as a copywriter. Now that I've kind of talked about the type of client I had, where I got them from, how many pieces of outreach I sent, I want to talk about the more juicy stuff that nobody ever talks about, and that is the onboarding. You need to have an onboarding process in place. You need to send over the contract. You need to be very clear on the deliverables. What are you going to, assist that business with? Also add in when you will check in with them. So maybe that's weekly, maybe that's monthly, and also send weekly metric updates. This has kept me clients for 3-4 months, all because I just send them metric updates of how their campaigns are doing for either email marketing for the e-commerce brands or how their following is going for content creators. Send them weekly updates so that they know where their money is going and it's actually going to a good cause and making them more money. So that is really it for this video. Speaking off the cuff and kind of just speaking about what's going on behind the doors and kind of what I'm working on. For those of you that want to click off, I'd say click off now. But for those of you who are, interested in my journey and how this whole thing's been going, continue watching. So I am currently working with an e-commerce email marketing business. I'm working with a content creator and another content creator. I'm ghostwriting for both of them. So all that means is I'm doing the copywriting, I'm doing their video scripts for them. I send it over, they film it, they do the editing, but I'm just writing the scripts. Hopefully that makes sense. And kind of bad news with the email marketing. I don't know if they're going to renew for the next month, which kind of sucks because it's a $2,400 a month client. And those are the clients you don't really want to, you don't want to lose, but I may be losing them just because they don't necessarily need me. And that's something you need to understand when you're copywriting is, can you really provide value to those businesses? Can you really generate them money? And they don't think that I've been able to generate them enough money. And so that's kind of can be skill based for sure. Could be a problem with my skill, but it also could be a traffic problem on their end, which, in all honesty, I think it is a traffic problem. They're not getting enough, and I'm not able to use metrics to write better copy. So that's what's kind of going on behind doors. Maybe losing them, so I'd be making 20, I guess it'd be $2,000 a month, which is still really really great. But that does open the door for another client. And so I want to ask you, would you guys want to see maybe acquiring a new client, my whole step by step guide, my whole system, and kind of just live stream it, or somehow showcase my day to day of getting that first client to you guys? Would that be something of interest? If it is, leave a comment, leave a like, reach out to me over on Instagram if you want to see something else completely different. Maybe that wouldn't help you. I'm just opening the door to anyone who needs help. It's been helping a lot of people, all these videos, and I just want to say thank you for all the support, all the kind messages I've been receiving. I've been meeting people from Australia, India, the United States, Europe. I mean, all over the world. You guys have been reaching out to me. Thank you for showing so much love. See you guys soon. Later.